Fall's in the air, and for most of the country, deer season's right around the corner. And this means we're going to be spending long hours in the field, stand, or blind. And let's face it, we're going to get hungry. And one of my favorite snacks for the field is jerky. And that's why I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make deer jerky at home. Now to get started, we're going to need a good sharp knife, mixing bowl, measuring cup for water, our jerky seasoning with cure mixed in, and our meat. Now, as a little trick I've learned over the years, you want the meat to still be slightly frozen because it makes it a whole lot easier to cut into strips. I prefer to cut my meat in about 1/8 inch strips, and that's because it's going to shrink a little bit as it cooks. And there's our first pile of deer meat. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the rest of our deer meat. Now that we got our meat cut, we're going to move to the next step. So I got about 5 pounds of meat here, so looking at the seasoning package, we'll see we need the entire pouch for our 5 pounds of meat. And we're going to mix that with 2.5 cups of water. And pour it in our mixing bowl. And because this is a 1 cup measure, we're going to have to do it 2.5 times. Now we'll tear open our seasoning packet and mix it into the water in the bowl. And then I'm going to add this packet of cure and mix it all together. Now another trick I'm going to share with you is if you have a few pieces of meat that are a little too thick, you can simply just pound them out. Now it's very important that we take and make sure all these pieces are separated and we mix them in really well. Now we're going to give that one final real good mix before we put it in the refrigerator overnight to marinate. So our jerky's been marinating overnight in the fridge, and now it's time to bring it out and start the next part of this process. Alright, as you can see, for the most part, that jerky has actually soaked up most of the marinade. Now this next part is where a lot of people make a mistake. You don't want to take that wet jerky and put it directly on your smoker, oven, or in your dehydrator. And that's why I laid paper towel out so I can let the jerky dry. Now we've got all the jerky laid out on paper towel, so we're going to let this dry while we get the smoker ready. Smoke's rolling and we're sitting about 200 degrees on the smoker, so cheers to you, and we'll see you in about an hour and a half where we're going to flip all that jerky over to the other side. Alright, it's time we're going to flip this jerky. Now what you'll notice is that some of your jerky is going to start to finish off a little bit earlier than other pieces, so you've really got to pay attention to what's going on the smoker at this point. Now that our jerky's flipped, we're going to sit back, drink another beer, and we'll be back in an hour to see how this jerky's coming along. We're going to check this jerky for doneness, and this is the make or break point. A lot of people either undercook or overcook their jerky. But I'm going to show you an easy test to let you know when your jerky's done. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a piece that looks like it might be about done. To test the doneness of your jerky, all you're going to do is bend it in half, and you're going to want to break it. And as you can see, when I'm tearing this jerky apart, there's no moisture or water droplets in this jerky. And also it didn't crumble, which means it's not overcooked or undercooked. That means this jerky is just about perfect, and it's time to start pulling a few of these pieces off the smoker. And we're just looking for those pieces that are looking like they're about done. Now at this point, not all your jerky is going to be finished, but over the course of every 15 minutes I'll be checking it to see which pieces may or may not be ready to be pulled. Because again, there's nothing worse than overcooking your jerky. And I'm going to throw the lid back on to let these smoke a little bit longer. Now the only thing left to do is take our jerky and portion it out into Ziploc bag. I hope this video gave you the confidence to make some jerky before this hunting season. And cheers, we'll see you next time on the water.